Hi there. Good morning, everybody. Uh, this is my meeting regarding supporting children in class. What is the most important tool to support a child in class? Well, an IEP. Like for a teacher, lesson plan is essential to conduct lessons in class for a child. Equally, an IEP is very important for a teacher to guide the students of need in class, students with individual needs. I would like to stick to this term individual needs because special needs would include a lot of things, whereas individual needs would rather stick to any kind of needs. Let's see, we'll just go for a screen share and show you some information which we can reflect on. Well, I'll take you through a kind of IEP I make. You're free to change the pattern. Just this is just a suggestion pattern. I think it's at this hour, it's very important to share our documents with each other, and you can improvise mine. I can get back from you feedback and can work on my document. Let me take you to what is an IEP. Well, what is an IEP? An IEP is a tool to support an SOD. Here, the word SOD means students of determination, which is a recently coined term. Now, it's like the magic wand, which can just change the life of your child with individual need in class. You can just set up a target using this magic wand. And then it helps you to differentiate as in you might have children, a mixed group of children in your class. Some children will have visual learning better, some would have auditory learning better, some would just be a combined learner of visual and auditory, some could just be a kinesthetic learner. So there are things where you have to differentiate. Maybe some children are good in writing, some are good in comprehension and association work. So it is good. The idea is to teach a concept to children. So the learning objective is to make a child understand or something where, like going by the Bloom's taxonomy, where you're just trying to make a child understand, analyze, realize, develop skills of writing, relating, real life application, a lot of things. But then to do that, this IEP will help you differentiate and give you a brief knowledge of the child, how you can support the child. Because please understand, nobody has the onus to learn on their own. It's our onus to teach them their way. So let's see how I can help you to do that. Now, if you have a child with individual needs in class, you have to ensure that your child access curriculum. We cannot afford to have a child in the class sitting and doing nothing. We are wasting that child's time, we are wasting our time. So it's very important that we bridge the gap, and then we ensure there is no learning loss happening. And at the same time, we cannot set the expectation very low because we have to set the expectation high, but we have to ensure that we are accommodating the child enough to reach that bar. Now let's go to the next slide. Who are the stakeholders of IEP? You can very well say all of us are the stakeholders of an IEP. We all actually need to contribute in an IEP to ensure that the IEP is strong. Let me take you to how an IEP goal should look like. Okay, let me make the slide a little visible. Yeah, I hope it's visible now. Now, what is SMART goal? SMART, the word, we use it very casually. Oh, I'm not looking smart. And it's not that somewhat. Here it would mean, many of us are aware of, it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. For you, the description is written, but then I would use my own ways of explaining it. Like for specific, what you can do is you can set up a literacy goal for a child. You can just take up one of the skills, maybe reading. So for reading, what kind of goal are you looking for? That maybe in a reading goal, you need to know what is the fluency of the child or the reading speed of the child, because somewhat the reading speed is related with the processing speed and it helps in comprehension. So the combination is very important. So maybe my child is identified with dyslexia, and there we are choosing a reading goal for the child because that would be the best thing I'll be doing. So to ensure an increased reading speed, we can set up a reading goal for speed reading fluency. Now that is my specific area which I'm choosing. Next comes measurable. What is measurable? I'll be just writing a child will be able to read a grade level book. No, I think I'll set up that a child will be able to read a grade level text, or maybe a portion of maybe two paragraphs of grade level text in depending on the ability of the child, maybe over a period of 1 week or 2 weeks in 2 to 3 sessions. That these are the specifics where I'm setting up a target for myself, that this much is measurable. If it happens less than that, okay. If it happens more than that, okay. So we'll annotate the IP, but then we have to set up a particular measured goal depending on the present level of performance of the child. Now what we have to plan is it is attainable. Say a child can only read, maybe with a lot of effort he is reading some 20 words or 30 words per minute, which is very low, and I'm setting up a target that a child will be able to read a grade level full chapter in 2 weeks. I'm setting an unattainable target, so it has to be realistic and attainable. And next comes relevant. Say you are a child has dyslexia, and I'm setting up a mathematics goal that the child will be able to do um, critical analysis of this. That yes, it is relevant, let me tell you. When we are talking about word problems in maths, where a child doesn't face difficulty with numbers but with the words, we certainly need to provide relevant information, but that needs to be relevant. So a child with attention problem can certainly be given with a mathematics numerical skill or calculation skill based goal, but a child with dyslexic, a child who's dyslexic by nature, they can only be helped with language support in maths. That would rather be a relevant goal if you're at all going for maths. Otherwise, I would just put not more than 2 to 3 goals. One would be for reading, one would be for spelling enhancement, and the other one would be for maybe conjuring everything, all the subjects together. Next comes time bound. We cannot just be doing things for unlimited period of time. So normally we are taking one IEP per term. You can just have long-term goals for the whole year, and you can break it down to 3 goals for 3 terms. You can just do that. Let me take you to the next slide. Here it talks about what are the goals are broken like into. Maybe you can just break it down into, you collect assessment from the therapists, the academic people, and the counselor, and then provide the goals, kind of goals a child needs. Because just know, even for a teacher, it is very important to have attention goals, that how to hold attention of the child, how long to provide, because a teacher wouldn't know, and she wouldn't be at the very beginning, she'll not be very aware that if my child has attention problem, she'll be like, Dada, why aren't you paying attention? Whereas it is like harassing the child to tell them that pay attention. If I can't see without my specs, you're telling me, why can't you see? Exactly, it sounds similar. So we have to work on that. Next comes, I love this slide. This part is my best part. What are goals? Goals are like dreams with deadlines. So here we have deadlines for our dreams. Until and unless and we dream, we cannot achieve a target. Exactly. A child with individual needs, when we set up a child, we can just read CVC words, or maybe something, maybe are capable of reading pre-primer Dolch. When we set up a text with digraphs for them to read for the end of the year, or maybe something more, it's impossible. And we do that, right? We start with a tabula rasa, a fresh mind, a child, and then train that child who goes up to the age where they become another adults whom we depend on. So nothing is impossible. And then for goals, for deadlines, we need a plan. To achieve the plan, we need steps and fragments to reach there. I'll quickly take you to my IEP slide. Okay, well, one other important thing. My goals might look a little complicated because I followed this IEP goal formula. It's very important that we provide all the information to make it smart in one goal. Normally, I write my goals in this pattern, and then we can break it down into strategies to provide support. Let's focus on one of the goals, that XYZ will be able to read grade level text. Okay, I'll take you there later. Let's see, that's the first page. It is a lot of information. Here, the category is written, the barrier is written. Okay, it depends on the kind of IEP your institute or your school is making. Ensure that you have present level of performance, because if you're a curriculum who's starting the school in August or maybe in March, you should be ready. Your teachers, they'll be having those children new. So they should be having a proper clarity. What is the standard of my child or level of my child? That I'll shoot the child with a grade 4 level comprehension, whereas the ability of the child is of year 1, I'm doing injustice to that child. So present level of performance is very important. And at times we do a checking with the baseline, but then even before that, at times baselines happen on the basis of previous knowledge of last year. But then some children, they have their level way below the previous grade. So it's mainly important for the children with learning gap. So maybe who are running in the curriculum a little more too much. Next, let's go to the particular IEP goals. Here, what we are doing are, we are able to read a grade level. Let's focus on the goal here. XYZ will be able to read a grade level text independently, considering accuracy, fluency, and pronunciation at 40 to 50 words per minute with maximum 3 errors at a go, monitored and evidenced by LSA twice a week over 12 weeks. I know a lot of information. Let's break it down. The specific here is we are talking about a skill that is reading. And which area of reading? We are talking about accuracy, fluency, and pronunciation. So we'll work on accuracy, which means we will not let a child skip words or omit words or miss out on words. So we'll ensure if a child is missing a word, we'll ensure to point that. So here the words fluency, accuracy comes. For fluency, we're just moving from one word to the other. You can just, this is my way of explaining it to you. You can just have your own ideas too, of course. And I appreciate that. So uh, the fluency is the speed I'm using to read. So my next word should be where I'll be able to read faster. I need to catch up so that my reading fluency increases so that I can read fast. And when I read fast, my brain helps me to process that and I comprehend better. And I'm in a position to decipher the meaning, to relate it to real life or understand the thought or conjure the whole thing in my mind. Next is I'm doing it 40 to 50 words per minute. My target for my children is to put them on 120 words per minute. I'll be happy if this child will be able to do this. Now, 40 to 50, so it means the child's limit is probably 30 words, which is a very slow reading. So and then there's a possibility if the child has attention deficit, then the child might just forget the words or the content they read before. So it's very important that they catch up with the speed faster. So 40 to 50 words per minute with maximum 3 errors at a go, which means in a minute, they're allowed to make 3 errors or maybe in that session also. But then that's a little tight thing. But then, okay, we can show progress over a period of time. We can show that actually it has happened, that this is a goal. Don't forget that. So the child is at the beginning allowed to make mistakes and we'll record it and we'll show that progress has happened over a period of time. We'll have a record of the same because that can only show and give a parent an understanding how this goal has worked for them, how the teachers can help the child with the IEP. So it is very important for you. Next comes that it will be monitored or evidenced by LSA twice a week. You cannot be doing the sessions every now and then. You have to set up a particular time where the child will know this is my time with my learning support assistant or my shadow teacher or my intervention teacher or my form tutor or my language teacher, whom I'll have to have a session with where they'll be monitoring these things. Now, how this can be achieved? You can just go in the strategy part. Like student will be introduced to a grade level text in chunks. So you're not introducing the whole of it. Now we are online. It's not difficult. We can just go, we can like make the font big or click a photo of that chapter and enlarge it and post it for that child in a private space. I mean like a private channel or a private communicating mail anywhere. We can just tell them, read this paragraph. Okay. And then next line we can go. He will read not more than 2 paragraphs at a time with considerable pause and punctuation. Okay, so the child will go for a 2 paragraphs only. So you're not providing more than 2 paragraphs in an email or something. And then what you're doing, I'll tell you how you will collect information on the same. Then she can be provided with verbal prompt and complex words or multiple digraphs. So if the child has reading difficulty, then I know my child has dyslexia or something, and the child will be like, this is a known fact. So out of this line, known will be a difficult word for them because KNOWN, it will jitter them. It is not enough because say my child is trained to a level of CVC and E words or four-letter words, and then they have just started primer or pre-primer Dolch. So this is a, they'll go smooth. Now then known, they're stuck. So before doing or introducing the chapter, you can just highlight that word and can just send them a vocabulary verbal recording like known. The word KNOWN is known, something which you already know. So known. So now the child, once the child is aware, so this is a known, and then it is understandable. Once there is a barrier, probably they will have hiccups for the word fact, but then with a proper punctuation, this is a known fact, which means you're putting an end to it. So pause is also very important in the right places. And then model reading, which I exactly did now. It is very important to model read because you have to tell them the types of sentences, not exactly in writing, but for understanding. It's very important when they are using full stop, comma, exclamation mark, question mark, very important. Now and then we can use a timer for the child to understand and self-monitor that, okay, this paragraph contains 70 words. I have read this paragraph in last 5 minutes. They can just have a timer on and they can just record their timings, and they can every day see how much time they are taking. And trust me, you give them the same text, ask them to read for 5 days, and their reading speed will improve. That will really, really motivate. So first day you take a recording for them, and then you take a recording on the fifth day. And then you can actually motivate the child and the father and the mother and like everybody around to show how this will be helping. Now, that was my first session. I wouldn't be taking much time here. I'll just quickly be taking a time to say thank you for attending and watching this session. Please post your questions if you have any. I would love to have more sessions. Thank you for your time, everybody. Let me know anything that we can talk and discuss. Okay, bye.